Be sure to follow my Twitter account at 90sbabygamer. What's going on, guys? It's the 90s Baby Gamer giving you another video, and this time I'm going to discuss my first video game moment. You know, anytime you do something for the first time and it turns into something greater than what you thought it was going to be, you tend to remember that moment. And I feel like there are a lot of people who actually had their moment where they decided, okay, I'm going to play video games as a hobby. And I actually hope that this video gets a decent amount of views and that people engage in the comment section, because I want to hear what other people have to say. I want to hear if other people have or can remember, the first time where they said, oh, that's cool. I have got to play video games now as a hobby. I've got to do this. So what am I talking about? What is my first video game moment? Well, I was about 4 years old, and my dad had a Super Nintendo. He also had a Sega Genesis, which of course I got into later on as well. But the primary system at first for me was the Super Nintendo. I used to play that all the time. Down the road I would play Donkey Kong Country and games such as that. Super Punch Out. So when I was about 4 years old, I was fascinated by Mortal Kombat. I loved the colors. I think when, being that age, you don't necessarily think about the blood and violence. I was obviously surrounded by people who were watching, all these karate movies, right? So instantly, with the combination of the colors and me already being a fan of wrestling and me, seeing these karate movies around me, I was instantly hooked by Mortal Kombat. So when I was playing Mortal Kombat 1 for the first time, or one of the first times, I was playing as Scorpion. And my dad was watching me play, right? And he was giving me some pointers and tips along the way and whatever the case may be. So I'm going through here and I'm beating, the first couple of opponents pretty easily, right? So you see my dad there, he's like, oh yeah, words of encouragement, that's awesome. But then I beat my opponent, one of my opponents. I think it was Sonya Blade. I'm not entirely sure. I could be totally wrong, but I believe it was Sonya Blade. And then the announcer says, "Finish her or finish him." So I press a random combination of buttons, and all of a sudden you see Scorpion pull out his mask. You see the skull, and then he blows out the fire, and my dad's jaw was on the floor. He could not believe that his 4-year-old son just pulled off a fatality. And at this time, my dad really didn't use the internet to find things such as cheat codes and stuff like that. I know Game FAQs or Game Facts was around at this time, but it was little known at the time. And the general consensus was that you still had to go out and get a magazine or word of mouth to get these cheat codes, or put these fatality combinations together. And I did it when I was 4 years old, and that is my first video game moment. That's the moment where I said, I'm gonna play video games as a hobby. That's it, guys. Take care.